Hello humanity, my name's Apollo. I'm with Green Fire Eco Ministries and we're here at the wonderful Hopi Tutskwa Permaculture Institute. And we're gonna get an interview with Lillian and Jacob, and they're gonna tell us all about their wonderful land and all that they do and the wonderful services they provide to their community, the indigenous Native American community at that. And so, welcome to this beautiful land and all that they do, because it's an amazing thing and they're doing amazing things, and I can't wait to show you all about it. Thank you.
I first learned about permaculture when I was an undergraduate student in Flagstaff, Arizona. I was introduced to a man by the name of Justin Willey, who had a permaculture institute on the Navajo reservation, and so I learned a lot about systems design and a lot about the ethics and principles of permaculture, and also how to apply those different techniques and methods that are inherent in permaculture design. I really felt like after I finished college, I would want to come home and contribute something to my community. So we came back to the community here into the village and began working with youth, young people during the summertime, where we would just introduce youth to a lot of the farmers, a lot of the artisans, builders as well, and just create a really unique opportunity for young people to be immersed in culture, in farming and agriculture, in building, in artistry to traditional artwork. And so young people should be able to be engaged in culture and language and activities that would help them to not only learn their culture, but to grow into healthy, productive, adults.
We're next to one of the main roads here in the village, and so we get quite a bit of runoff from the road coming into the orchard here. So one of the first things we did was to set up these large earthworks that you see before you. So those type of shapes on the earth really have made a big difference in order to be able to catch water and catch seeds and make sure that water sinks. So in permaculture, that's one of the first principles you learn, is how to work with the flow of energy, such as water.
For myself, I was involved with a lot of political activism in my early 20s, and specifically out here on the Hopi and Navajo reservations, we do have issues with coal mining and water depletion. A lot of natural resource exploitation has taken place here by, the corporation Peabody Coal Company. And so I became involved as an activist to protect our water resources and also to prevent coal mining from continuing here in our homelands. In political activism, there are really very little room for solutions, actually hands-on solutions. So I felt like in that work, I needed to be able to be in the community and initiating proactive solutions, because our tribal communities are so dependent on fossil fuel royalties in this economy. And I felt that it was important to introduce a different economy, to introduce solutions, and to work directly with youth to do that. And so Jacobo and I worked together to form Hopi Tutskwa Permaculture Institute as a way to develop those solutions and create opportunities for young people in our community to initiate those solutions and to basically create community-based solutions to climate change, to fossil fuel depletion and natural resource extraction, and also to be able to create those proactive solutions for future generations.
Here is one of our beehives here. It's a swarm that we caught a couple years ago, and it was just hanging out in the village looking for a home. I learned about top bar beekeeping for a few years ago, and have really been learning how to manage the bees. And these are very healthy bees because they're the survivor bees. I'm a musician, and I was able to express a lot of my discomfort, if you will, with society or with the way the world is moving through music. With permaculture, it's giving us a tool to really put all of that emotion and all of, maybe if you will, anger towards what's happening to the environment, the things that are happening in world governments and to impoverished communities and communities everywhere. That anger that I felt towards all of that permaculture has given me like a channel, if you will, to be able to channel all that energy into something that I believe is for the greater good of the planet and humanity. This is our little nursery where we take a lot of cuttings and we have a lot of grapes going in here, some willow trees, peach trees, fruit trees that we house in here. It's very early spring right now, so everything is dormant, and you can see our trees are just barely starting to bloom. And so if you come back in a couple months, everything gets really green. We're fortunate here to be in an indigenous community where there's a lot of knowledge too from the elders and older ones who remember a time when permaculture, perhaps the word was not around, but all of the ethics and the practices of permaculture were being practiced, so that here it exists. That memory is not too far gone from our community here. So people really understand it from the heart when we're trying to feed ourselves and we're farming or catching rainwater or creating our own energy. People have a direct connection to that and a memory to it. So it's a very powerful thing, and we're very fortunate to be living in these times and being here where we are. So we're standing in front of our passive solar greenhouse, which is attached to our home, and the greenhouse serves a couple of functions for us. First is throughout the winter, it's able to heat the home by collecting sunlight and transferring it to that mass wall on the north side of the greenhouse, which is an earthen wall. And so it collects that heat and then distributes it into the house at nighttime and throughout the day. So this is really helpful for us because we minimize the amount of firewood we need to use. The future plans of our organization, our institute here, are really to try and support other like-minded individuals and families here in our community. There's a lot of other young families and older ones, I think, that are in the same boat where they would like to have that self-sufficiency and that independence from the larger system depleting the environment and the world as we know it, and to be able to help those families who really see something different and those individuals who would like to provide a brighter future for their children by looking directly at their relationship with water and their relationship with energy and food production. The plants inside, my wife does a lot of the seeding and planting, and my children. And then from there, we're able to take those plant starts, bring them out here, and put them into these walls of water, is what they're called, bottle waters, where this is the same concept. This is mass. It heats up during the day and then provides heat for them at night when the temperatures drop sometimes below freezing.
For the Institute itself, right now we are working with the local food co-op to try to strengthen and develop more markets for farmers, as well as in the future, one of our goals is to create a local market, a local grocery store for the community that offers local food, seasonal foods, as well as, local products too, canned products, local goods. And then also the Institute would like to continue growing our plant start nursery and our fruit tree nurseries too, to be able to offer plants and fruit-bearing trees and shrubs, flowering shrubs to the community as well, and to support the growth of local food production here, as well as to continue to offer our expertise to be able to mentor young people, to keep strengthening our training programs and our apprenticeship programs in the community, and to be able to utilize the Institute as a tool to support and strengthen the Hopi community, and to share the models that we're developing with other communities, whether that be tribal communities or other communities throughout the world. Really, that's our hope, is to be able to share these models with others who are interested, and to keep networking and partnering with other groups and organizations and communities to share the model and to share ideas and to share what we have here as well.
This is a gray water system. Also, all of these and you can see the size of these shrubs. We have Nanking cherries, we have black currants, red currants growing here, and then there's grapes that need to be pruned very badly. But all of this is grown from gray water. So these are all Nanking cherries here, and this is what an advanced system looks like once it matures. And so we're a group that's constantly looking for rain barrels, for instance, to set up rainwater catchment systems and gutters and solar panels and any type of applicable technology that folks out there may not be using or that are being stored somewhere. We have projects happening right now and can use resources like that. We're always open to receiving that kind of help.
For our organization, we would love to be able to establish a learning center here in the community, a building to be able to house, the organization, a place to be able to host training workshops and gatherings, a place to be able to accommodate visitors when they come here, and also a place to really have events, to be able to have a kitchen, to do community cooking and learning, canning workshops, demonstration. And it's our place to show the world that, creating great solutions and a sustainable community is possible. So that's what we need is our own place here in the community.